We got a problem in the backpacking industry. This is something nobody's talking about. Today we're talking about pack volumes. Now recently I saw Steven from My Life Outdoors filling his backpack with water to test the volumes. By the way, Steven, that's actually brilliant. I'm going to be doing that with mine from now on. I even saw Dan Durston commented saying that's a smarter way to test it than he does. But from his video, one of his bags he was testing was the Gossamer Mariposa 60. As he started to fill it, I knew already that bag is not a 60-liter bag. It's actually a 36-liter bag with a 24 liters of outer storage. Do you think that's misleading, or is that totally fine? Now, if we jump back, say, 10 years ago when we hardly had any cottage companies producing innovative, unique backpacks like this one here, the Ultimate Direction 40 I got behind me, we had just big brands. There was basically the Ospreys of the world. You had all the big players, North Face, Mammoth, Helly Hansen, Patagonia, etc. And in recent times, bags have always been listed with the volume as part of the name, such as this one here. This is the Osprey Exos 58. Now the 58 is for 58 liters internal storage. Now where this gets really confusing, some pack makers will include the brain of the bag in that total storage. Some of them won't, and as you're seeing with the Gossamer Mariposa 60 and other cottage brands, they include the outer pockets as part of the storage. Now what makes this even more confusing is we have bags like this. This is the 3FUL, a Chinese bag. This is a 55-liter pack. It's a great pack, but when it's listed as a 45 plus 10. Anyone who's a backpacker today within the last 10-15 years, whenever you see a plus something like plus 10, plus 20, plus 15, you know that's because the roll top is adding 10 liters. That's 45, that's 10. What's confusing is that wasn't always the case. I posted a topic about this on the most popular ultralight backpacking forum on Facebook, and I was met with initially a lot of criticism, mostly people who have the Mariposa 60, as I use that as the example. They didn't like that I was calling the bag misleading. I got no problem with that bag. I've never used it. They look great. That pack, I'll note, their strategy is to have external storage so it's easier to get to your first aid, to your cook kit. It's faster than digging through all your stuff. And I like that new innovative stuff like that exists. The problem is the naming on the pack. In that Facebook group, I was met with a ton of criticism like, oh, you need to learn how to read. You need to look through the description of the pack. It's all there, it's all written there, etc., etc. When it comes down to it, you have to dig through multiple tabs, go down and find it and dig for the information. Now, what if you're someone who's going into a store and you're buying one of these packs, and say you don't know anything about backpacking, and your buddy told you, hey, go buy a 50-liter pack. Now you're relying on the sales rep to have that knowledge, and they might not actually have that knowledge if they're just someone who's working in a general sports store and don't really know that much about backpacking. And is that information listed on all the tags on the packs themselves? Does it show that it's a 60 liter, but it has 36 liters of internal storage only? The reason why packs have stated, at least in recent history, why it says 58 liters as internal storage is because that's what can stay dry. That's what's going to stay out of the elements. Storing stuff on the outside of your pack is okay, but you have to have water protection for those items. And I personally don't store anything of valuable on the outside of my pack because I do a lot of bushwhacking, and those items will always get pushed out of your pack at some point. Now, if you're someone who only goes backpacking once or twice a year, you're probably not gonna have that problem because you'll probably be on well-groomed trails. But someone who's a little bit more avid on it, I would say if you're storing stuff on the outside of your bag somewhere in one of these bungee pouches, you should always have your stuff carabinered or somehow attached to the pack somehow. Now, I personally don't think external storage should be included in the number unless it's stated so. A simple example, let's use this one here. This is a 55 liter with a 10 roll top. The 3FUL 45 plus 10 in brackets and then 55 liters, then you would know that that's a 55 liter internal. For example, the Mariposa 60 would be 60 liters bracket 36 bracket. Then you would know that inside the brackets is 36 internal liters of storage. Now, something I didn't know that one of the old timers left as a comment in that Facebook group is that apparently bags used to be listed as internal plus external in the name. Now, if it was the Gossamer bag in this example, it would be Gossamer Mariposa 36 plus 24 60 liter. So then you know it's internal, external, total liters. I think that is a fantastic way of doing it. The only problem with this, we've got this new language with the plus being the roll top, and now that gets all confusing. But either way, I think all backpack manufacturers should get on board with a new strategy that just tells the consumer exactly what it is in the name. When you're buying a pack, you should always be doing the research on it, knowing exactly what you get. But there are cases, even myself, I've got a pack down here. This giant bag, I don't even know what it is. I've had this bag for 15, 20 years. I know it's an MEC Mountain Equipment Co-op. It's a big Canadian brand like REI. I don't even know what this bag is. From what I'm looking up, I think it's called a Brio 70, but I don't even know. I thought it was a 60, maybe it's an 80. It had the new updated system I'm talking about here, that I don't know exactly what this pack is, so I don't have to go dig on a website. In this case though, this pack has no website. There's no information on it, period. It'll remain a mystery until I get one of those water meters like Steven has from My Life Outdoors to test this bag myself to know exactly what the liters are of this pack. What I'm putting forward now today is I think we should have a new system. Since we've already got this roll top system kind of in place and nobody uses that old system, I think we should all agree on a new system. For example, with the Gossamer Mariposa, it would say Gossamer Mariposa in brackets 36 plus 24 liters, and then the total liters at the end, 60 liters. I think we can do away with the roll top plus 10. Personally, I don't care about the plus 10 metric. I just care about what the total volume is. We could have 50 liter plus 10 if people would like to know what the pack size is when it's rolled down. Either way, this whole system needs to be cleaned up because it has become a mess. There are packs I thought were internal storage much bigger than they are. For example, Z packs. So when I posted in this Facebook group, people left a whole bunch of examples, and Z-Packs was one of them. I didn't realize because I haven't researched them. I don't have a Z-Packs pack. I have been thinking about those packs a bit because they are so light. It turns out the Arcol 40 is actually a 28 internal storage. So it's a pretty small pack. That's not a big pack. And so you have 12 additional storage on the outside of the pack, but it's not a 40 liter as in, you know, this bag is a 40 liters. If we were to compare this one, this is the Ultimate Direction 40. This is 40 liters inside. So this volume here is full 40 liters, but I mean, there's a huge stretch pouch. So what is that? Is that an extra 10? It has two big, really stretchy pockets on the sides. Is that 5 apiece, another 10? And it has this running vest that has so many pockets. So is this now a 70 liter? Is this a 75 liter? Like, it gets too confusing when you have the old style system and then you have the new cottage companies counting all these extra pockets as storage. We need a simpler system that cleans this all up. One of the other brands that lists all of it together, including the external, is ULA, but ULA doesn't list the total volume of the pack in the name. For example, their most recent one is just 2024, it's the year. And on their website, you have to dig down to find out that it says it's a 75 liter, and then it lists the volume of every single pocket all the way down. So you actually get more information on that pack than basically anything else. So I wouldn't consider that misleading. It's a little bit more work to dig through that. As someone who likes to dig through a lot of packs, I'm looking at different packs I can try and share with you guys. Having to dig through every single one looking for the stats I want, I wish they were just in the name of the pack. It would make it so much easier, not only for myself, but anyone who's going out to buy a pack, especially new backpackers who don't know to look for that. They wouldn't know that some packs are internal storage and some have external. Their friend goes and tells them to buy a pack, they might get one that's way too small. This is not consistent though across all companies. You've got a company like Hyperlight Mountain Gear, which makes a very similar pack to this, and there's this, like say the Southwest 2400, which doesn't have the volumes in the name, but it says it's a 40 liter, it's 40 liters internal. And it has a very much similar style as this. I don't think there needs to be a mandate for companies to put the name like the Exos 58 in the name, but I think if you're gonna call it a 60 liter pack, it should be 60 liters is the total volume. Then we need to know what's internal, what's external without digging. Now I put this out to my own Facebook group that has over 16,000 people in it, and it's coming back with around 70% of the people did not even realize that some pack makers are including the external and internal storage as the total volume. One thing this done though is made me question every bag I've got. I've got this one here, Ultimate Direction Blazek 15. Is this 15 in here, or does that include these bungee pouches on the outside as well? We need a system that is much cleaner. What we've got happening now in the community is a mess. Share your thoughts down below what you guys think about this. If you have a Gossamer bag, I already know what you're gonna say. I got no hate against Gossamer, bags look awesome. Same with Z-Packs. At the end of the day, this is just gonna be better for the community of hikers and backpackers, and that's the point of this video. Hopefully we can all get on the same page so we don't end up with a situation with sleeping bags where you have different ratings, meaning different amounts, and nobody really knows how warm or cold they are. Luckily, we do have that new rating system, which does seem to be cleaning that up, and we need the same thing with backpacks. So hopefully you guys subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one.